The Nova Guest List Podcast
with Kieran McGuinness.
The very best in indie, alternative and homegrown music from the seriously addictive Radio Nova.
So that, of course, is Mr. Gavin Glass, formerly of this parish, now in the parish of recording some of the finest music in Ireland, down in the Orphan Recording in his studio. How's it going, Gavin?
It's going great. How are you, Kieran? Good to hear your dulcet tones.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you. A lot of people will be wondering how you're getting on. I know you're doing a big barbecue at the moment, but in a general sense, how are things?
Things are great. I have not looked back since moving down here. The studio has just been absolutely chock-a-block busy, which is great. So I've actually been kind of taking the last sort of 3-4 weeks. I've been just sort of pottering around the back garden trying to fix fences and, you know, build sand pits for kids, that kind of thing. But the last 3.5 years, it's just been kablamo, and there's a whole spew of releases that are kind of coming out in the next couple of weeks. And it's great to kind of see all these seeds that you've been watering are all about to pop up in the summer now. It's great.
So how does it work for young bands? Like, imagine I was a musician, Gavin, and I wrote songs and I wanted to record them. Like, what do people do? I mean, does someone knock on your door with a demo tape?
Most of the time I'll have a phone recording or a demo or some kind of recording of the song. Different, some people will come in with a demo that sounds absolutely amazing, and it's a challenge to even try and better that, and then other people will just sit with an acoustic guitar and sing into a phone. I work with a band. It's very different from when I'm working with a solo artist. The band will usually arrive and they'll have kind of arrangements, ideas. A lot of the time I'm kind of hands-on and I'm on the floor playing with the band a lot of the time. So I do a lot of kind of arrangements with the band when I'm in there with them, that if I feel there might be a little bit of a slump in verse 2, or there's no middle 8, or the chorus isn't working, I might get in there and kind of change a chord around, or maybe give them a few different options of where they could go with it. But with songwriters, sometimes they just come in with a song and I will just literally do the whole thing, the drums, bass, everything, and they'll play an acoustic guitar and sing.
Do you have to? I mean, I'm always interested in producers. Do you have to love the songs?
That's a great question.
Or is it more that you can see how you could love the song? Do you know?
Yeah, I think it's more the latter. I mean, sometimes songs can come into me that, I work with people that are finishing their kind of careers as, successful songwriters, and I also work with people that are kind of starting from day one. So, a lot of the times the experience and the whatever, the 10,000 hours, whatever that expression is, hasn't been reached yet. So when there's something like that, I always get a great kick and a great sense of pride when I'm bringing someone that is only beginning and say the song is not great. I might, encourage them to kind of re-look at the lyrics or re-look at the chord sequences and try and make the best I can out of it. And I mean, that to me is the most rewarding thing of the job. I try to get a song a day done with a songwriter like that, and them coming in with just this kind of rough idea, with them leaving with a fully produced recording that's ready to go on radio. I mean, that's just and that recording's going to live forever. That just gives me a great sense of pride. So to answer the question, sometimes the songs just aren't there yet, but those people always will come back to me and their songs get better and better and better and better.
Yeah, but also it's funny as well, and people don't think people realise this, how creative the producer. I mean, often you're an engineer, but mostly you're kind of like at least at some part you're producing the track as well. Yeah,
I mean, there's that element, and then there's some days where you're only doing 10% producing and then 90% psychology. Or team building, or being a coach.
Yeah.
I always see it like Rocky's trainer. He wasn't the biggest lad, but he knew how to get the best out of Rocky, and might have been the greatest boxer. But I'm at it so long now. I'm producing records 30 years, would you believe? That I can kind of tell a band's dynamic straight away. After one or two takes, I go, okay, not to say that I'd be trying to predict what they're doing, but I can kind of feel within an hour I'll kind of have the size of a band and where we need to go, what we need to work on, and who's going to be the one that's going to be really open to experimenting and change, and then the people that will be kind of say, no, but these are my parts and I can't change them on the spot. You kind of have to know when you can push somebody and when you can't, and usually 9 times out of 10 they always do come around. I have this motto which I got from the great Joe Henry, producer. I did a record with him over in Abbey Road a few years ago, but his thing was oxygen to all ideas, you know, and not to say you go down a rabbit hole, but I have the experience to know after kind of a 10-15 minute experiment that this is going to work or that's not going to work. And I find that people say, no, I don't think that's going to work. You can, just try it. What harm? We'll know straight away, you know? Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to ask you for some recommendations now of stuff you've worked on recently. But before we do, can I ask you, do you miss being on the radio on a Sunday night?
I don't, to be honest with you. I really don't. I found I was kind of doing too much music, if you know what I mean, at that stage, because I was doing Nova. I was in the studio Monday to Saturday, and then after Nova, I used to go and do a 3-hour gig. Jeez. So since I came down here, life's kind of just, the tempo sort of slowed down for me, and I absolutely loved Nova. It was an amazing experience. I think if I'm not doing as much music as I was, and I just kind of concentrate on the bands that I'm working with, it kind of keeps I can kind of keep my passion for music at the 110% all the time. When I was doing I was doing cover gigs, I was releasing solo albums, I was doing the radio show, then I was working with bands, all during the day. I just, after a while, music started to feel like it was my job. That's, that wasn't good. So I've been able to write music for myself, which I haven't done in 5 years. So I think, and we had a baby there last year, Bo, my second.
Congratulations.
So, thank you very much. 2 kids is a lot different than 1, isn't it? I have more time to work on my own stuff, and but no, I mean, I loved. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely loved Nova, and I loved having the sessions in and all of that. But I'm 47 now. We were talking earlier about barbecuing a lot, and getting really focusing on getting fat and hairy. So that's kind of where I'm at the moment.
Well, look, give us some brilliant recommendations. Okay. Give me a couple that you've worked with there, and we'll play something.
Okay, Remedy Club brought out an album 2 weeks ago, which is getting rave reviews across the board.
Remedy Club.
The Remedy Club, yeah, they are a husband and wife act. Black Bank Folk's third album is coming down the pipeline, as is Rachel Grace's debut album. She's a BIM student. I don't know if you ever crossed paths.
I do know Rachel, yeah, it's brilliant.
I think she's going to be world class. We've made a really magical record. Bluefish Diamond's third album has just been finished, and I just finished Malachy Toohey, the lead singer from the Riptide movement, his solo album came out on Friday, and that's again getting really well received, and lovely reviews, and they're commenting on what an amazing producer I am, so that's very good for the ego.
Of course.
Yes, indeed.
Well, look, why don't we play something by Malachy Toohey? This is a song called Jarlath that I believe you worked on, and thank you very much for chatting to us today, Mr. Gavin Glass, and go back to your idyllic lifestyle down there.
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day, yes, indeed, to yourself as well, of course.
To all the dads out there. Great to talk to you, Keir, and give my love to all the guys in Nova.
I will do. Thanks, dude. Enjoy that chicken, and make sure it's cooked.
Yes.
Just cook it. Just give it. Cut it and then have a look inside.
It'll be thrice fried.
Right, excellent. Yeah, all right, great stuff. Thanks, Gavin.
Gravy. All right, see you later.
Take it easy, dude. Let's play this. This is Jarlath by Malachy Toohey, new on Nova.
The Nova Guest List Podcast with Kieran McGuinness. The very best in indie, alternative and homegrown music from the seriously addictive Radio Nova.